All right.
Hey.
Yo, welcome to a game day edition of Separate Bedrooms. Wifey's been very excited about it.
Yes.
She even made a song today in the OBGYN office. Maybe you want to, I was like, maybe we should even just start this episode with you doing
With
this
the
song.
song?
Yeah, just perform.
Well, the song has
give me
nothing to
three
do.
bars.
The song has nothing to do with game day vibes. Those are two separate
It
things.
has
but I'm
everything to
excited.
do with the pregnancy.
It has
though.
everything to do with the pregnancy. So I'm at this point. We found out today baby weighs 7 pounds, which is terrifying because I'm like 36 and some change weeks. And that's a big fucking baby. 7 pounds. And he's like
Top
still
70th
cooking.
percentile, he said.
He's still cooking. So he could gain 2 extra. Like he gains a pound a week is what I'm saying. Like I'm not vaginally delivering a 10-pound baby. That's fucking insane. But anyways,
Yeah,
we were
I don't
on
want to
the
see
way.
the pub burn down. That was the best
Here-
quote a friend said. It was my friend
What?
Jen's dad. I think my boy Dan was asking Jen's dad about like, oh, should I be in the delivery room or something like that? And he's like,
Oh,
no.
should he watch?
Yeah. And he's like, bro, it's terrible. He's like, why? And he's like, it's like watching your favorite pub burn down.
Okay, but people need to understand that vagina is like a very, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like a flex fit hat.
Resilient. It's a fucking resilient organ. And like, it goes back,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yo, I'm with you. I want this thing to stay. You maintain its shape, you know?
I'm just like, I'm ready. Like I could deliver today. I'd be ready. I'd be happy. Like if I went into labor right now, I'd be like sick. And the doctor let us know that that's cool. The baby is like fully developed. If I went into labor today, everything would be healthy and fine. All would be well. So on
we
the
hit
way,
Sean Paul with an idea for a dance hall song.
All right. So just to go back, before I even knew I was pregnant, Eddie knew I was pregnant before I knew I was pregnant because I was wiling the fuck out.
Yeah.
And
Because we were in DC.
we were
You
on
were
vacation.
excited for karaoke.
I was mad on vacation, which like typically I am not that person. We were in DC.
I might have sent you, I think I did send you the song, the Kanye song.
Oh yeah.
Are you mad on vacation?
You did, because we were in Jamaica
Yeah.
and I was not dutty whining around any Jamaicans because I was pissed
No.
the fuck off because I was hormonal pregnant.
She was mad on vacation.
But whatever. So we were in DC. We were having a good time. I had no energy. I couldn't partake in like anything fun. Like they did this karaoke thing and I wanted to go so bad.
Shouts to Caduce.
And
He
his
shut
wife
Hey-Ma
and his
down.
kids. They're the sweetest people in the world. And they were showing us around DC. And I was just like dragging ass. I had no personality. I couldn't do shit. And I remember even the flight from LA to DC, I was being horrible. We were like in the airport. I like couldn't. I was like complaining the most I've ever complained. We got to Jamaica. And of course, like imagine being your first trimester of pregnancy. This is when like morning sickness is the worst. You're just like so nauseous all the time. We take a fucking Sprinter van from the airport into a mountain that is just winding and winding and
Like I was
winding
motion
and
sick.
winding.
And
I
homie
was
had
like-
Bullet Train playing on a phone.
Yes.
Super loud, like 17 speakers in a Sprinter van
And like,
blasting Bullet
and it's
Train.
like if you've ever driven through the Hollywood Hills, like these roads are not fucking, no one's, like the tax paying money is not going to the roads. And this was even worse. And I was just like so nauseous. So all that to say, we hung out with Sean Paul in Jamaica. He's the shit. He showed us around. It was amazing. We got to go to like the Dutty Rock studio. To me, this was like my dream come true. I just feel like Sean Paul, and we'll get into this later too, I think has one of the best albums of all time, arguably the best album of all time, no fucking skip. So this was like the biggest moment of my life. So whatever, Sean Paul was the first guy to meet our
I
baby.
was like light work. He's my Jamaican tennis partner.
Yeah, he was like, oh, this is the guy I play tennis with. I was like, my fucking childhood idol and like still current.
Shauna Polo.
So our baby met Sean Paul, is what I'm trying to say.
At Dutty Rock.
At Dutty Rock. Our baby was all up in the studio where like Baby Boy was made. And so I think we should name him Baby Boy. But today we made a song in the car. And I think it went,
Because I've heard every single dance hall chorus about pussy ever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like dance hall.
there's dance hall songs about how the pussy has like gonorrhea.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
they're like pussy hot.
Yeah.
Like it
yeah.
on
Hot pussy,
fire.
hot
If
pussy.
you fuck that pussy, you gonna also be on fire.
Like, I really thought that dance hall had covered all adjectives for pussy until we started seeing this OBGYN. And recently, like, I hear her talking to the doula or the doctor, and they're just like, yeah, is it dilated? Is your pussy dilated? 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 1 centimeter?
Okay,
and
well,
I'm
no
just
one,
like,
the
yo,
doctors aren't,
I
the
can't wait
doctors
to
aren't
celebrate
asking me
this.
if my pussy
But
is
they're telling us to
dilated.
watch out for when the pussy is dilated. And I'm like, yo, this could be the ill dance hall song in the club where it's just like the pussy dilated.
I also am so, like, I was hoping, we went to the doctors today, and I was like, like, all I would want, this would be the best day of my life, if we went there and he was like, it's dilated.
Yeah.
That means shit's going. Like, it's about to happen. Like, it could be a couple
I've cheered
days,
for
a
all
couple
kinds of
weeks.
pussy, tight pussy, wet pussy, your pussy, but never have I ever woken up and be like, yo, I hope that shit dilated.
Yeah, I hope
and
it's dilated.
now I wake up being like, yo, I need some dilated pussy in this house.
Thank you for supporting me.
So we're gonna drop the clip in of your chorus.
Pussy tight, pussy right, dilated by tonight.
I thought you wanted me to sing it now.
Well, yeah, go
I
ahead.
was like, I'll
go
take you through the
ahead.
lyrics. I'm not
Do
gonna
it.
get us into it.
Do it.
Pussy right, pussy tight. My pussy gonna be dilated by tonight.
That is the fucking pregnancy
You put
anthem.
that over a beat,
Crazy.
and you just have Sean Paul doing ad libs on that shit. And I'm telling
Crazy.
you, that's gonna be the hardest drop in the club.
the hardest.
Pussy right, pussy tight, pussy gonna be dilated by tonight.
Julius,
That's wild.
would you get down to fucking dilated pussy, the dance hall anthem?
That's some new shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah.
some new shit.
Yeah.
You could
All right,
tell.
it's a yes.
You could tell a bitch now, like, try it out. I don't know how it's gonna work, but next time you're like out, you know, you're having a couple drinks, be like, I'm gonna dilate that pussy, ma,
Yeah.
and see if it works for you.
Yeah. See if it works. See if anything pops
Like,
out.
if
at
somebody
the pub.
told me that, I'd be like, you must have a huge dick. Like, you're gonna dilate my fucking pussy.
I'm gonna dilate your shit.
I'm also so sorry to, like, if our parents are watching this.
Oh, your mom's definitely watching.
I know, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. No, it's my poor vagina.
My dad, if my dad is watching, it's like, no, I'm gonna try that shit out. Yeah.
But I think the more exciting thing that happened today is Eddie found his fucking shirts. And I'm going to take you guys into some shit that's been going on in our
is
lives
family drama.
for months. This isn't even family drama.
Home drama.
This is home drama. We've had this
This is
mystery.
Venus retrograde shit. Like, it's very Venus retrograde to
Yeah.
lose your entire wardrobe.
Okay, so there's a store that Eddie loves. The store is in New York. Of course, you can
Don't
shop
tell him. Don't
online.
tell
I'm
him
not
the-
going to
I'm
say.
actually gatekeeping
I'm not going to
this one
say the
store.
name of the store. I'll gatekeep for you. But there's a store that he loves, and of course, you can like buy shit online.
All right, I'll
But-
ungatekeep it because I love him. Sweet 2, CHCM, best fucking store.
Yeah.
Don't shop there if you swagless. You know? Don't even
Listen,
attempt it.
listen.
Don't even
People
attempt it.
can buy the same shit,
They
but
can
they
buy the
don't
shit.
have the same sauce, like the
They
whole
don't.
thing. You
They
know what I'm
don't.
saying?
Go
So-
ahead. Make Sweet 2 rich. It's the best store.
Okay, so CHCM, when we were in New York, you got a bunch of shit. And it's just fun. Like, we do this thing where when we get new stuff, we do a fashion show. And
do
we
a
go,
fashion
fashion show. And we'll, like, try the stuff on. And I feel like whenever I'm shopping, you, like, love when I put everything on
Oh,
and
I
come
love
out.
it.
And I love when you do the same thing.
Especially when you buy like patent leather thigh-high boots. I'm
Yeah.
like, fashion show.
Yeah.
Fashion show.
And I'm like, it's vintage Jean Paul Gaultier. We need to buy it. So we did that, and like you got the best stuff, but then you only got to wear it for such a short amount of time,
We had just spoke to those clothes,
and
basically.
it,
is what
and it
happened.
disappeared.
Yeah.
We could not find, and it was a full batch of shit. Like, you know when you go
I
shopping
was
and you
about
buy.
to start texting. I was about to start posting the last text messages I had with those clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were fucking gone.
Dude, they were done.
They were cooked.
They were done. So they had disappeared. And it was a whole batch. It's not just like you lose a shirt, you lose a pair of socks, you lose
Yeah.
a pair of jeans. You're like, that's weird. It'll show up. It was literally like 6 to 7 shirts, a sweater. Like, it was a lot of shit.
It was everything I like cared about wearing the last 8 months.
And
Go
it's
on.
important to note that this batch of clothes went missing during my deep nesting phase. So like I've been nesting the fuck out of this house. I've been like, we've been moving rooms around. Like the nursery was a guest room before, and then the guest room turned into, like, shit has been moving. We've been getting rid of so much stuff. We've been donating, giving to friends, like anything you can think of. So I was like, I know I didn't throw this out, but it started to creep into my head after many months. I'm like, fuck, did I fuck up and throw it out? Like, did I fuck up and give this to somebody? Like, the mystery, we just could not find these clothes. We looked in every corner, every crevice of this house. And the shit just would not. It was to the point where we were like sending photos of the last time that he wore the shirt, like documented. We were like, looking at the dates in the iPhone where it like says, like, it'll be like March 2nd at 6:04. I'm like, you were wearing it on March 2nd. Like, where were you?
It was crazy.
And then today, on the way to the doctor's, when we literally had just dropped the track, pussy tight, pussy right. We pull into the dry cleaners. And he gets out of the car, I stay in the car, and I go, how fucking funny is it going to be if it's in this dry cleaner? He goes into the dry cleaner. Apparently, I mean, you could tell this part because I wasn't there.
Yo, I was like, yo, I don't want to bother you because like I feel bad. I had just picked shit up from them like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there. So I was like, yo, I was here a couple weeks ago. I was just wondering, like, is there anything left? And they're like, oh, what's your name? I go, Wong. And they're like, all right, we looked at Wong. And they pull a slip out and they're like, oh, nothing here. I'm like, wait, there's another one behind it. They're like, oh, there's another Wong. I was like, check that Wong. And it was all my clothes.
Damn.
There was two Wongs made a right.
Two Wongs made a right. I immediately played the Curb theme song for him in the car.
Yeah.
Because our housekeeper, like every single person, I started texting my mom. I was like, yo, have you like seen, remember when we were cleaning out the shoe room? Like, did you see this shirt? Like, we were in the fucking trenches.
It was ill too because everyone was accusing each other. Clara was like, I think it was her mom. And I'm like, what? I think it was Christopher. You know, like it was literally fucking knives out over these CHCM shirts.
We were like, did somebody steal it? Like out of our garage when we had the door open or something? Like, it was wild.
Yep. But the shirts have been located.
The
wardrobe is back.
So honestly, I feel like it's just the next couple episodes, you might start doing fire fucking fits. Just shit you haven't done before.
Just because you never know when you may last speak to your shirts.
If CHCM wants to send some new shit.
They sent me some banana fiber shirts.
Oh, really?
That were fire, yeah. But, game day. So I should say, this is how you make nachos. All right, we're doing nachos from the fucking feet up. Everything in these nachos, besides the sour cream, is going to be made here today. So we took tortillas. You just cut, like you take a circle tortilla and cut them into quarters. And then you toss them in here. Fry them in a cast iron pan, whatever pan you got. All right, I use grapeseed oil because grapeseed oil you can fry high for a long time. Doesn't burn. Delicious. Mm-hmm. And you just fry up these chips. And I really do think if you're going to enjoy game day, you're going to have your friends over, don't use bag chips. I got bag chips as a backup, and somebody dug into them. So somebody got into those chips. But I really think if you're going to invite people over for nachos, this shit got to be better than the restaurant, right? Otherwise, I'll go to the bar.
I love where your bar is at.
Yeah, so we're making it from the feet up here. Very simple.
I mean, I would be thrilled if I went somewhere and there was homemade chips.
Yeah. Do you know where our Peruvian pink salt is?
It's right there. I got it for you. It's over here.
Oh, it's here. Okay,
yep.
Good. Thank you. So, chips get fried. You just wait till they're crispy. All right, it takes them a second, but then when they come out, just salt them. Salt them light. Delicious. Right, just like that.
Stunning.
So we're doing game day because the NFL season is upon us. Soon, basketball will be back and everything will be right in the world. You're excited.
I'm excited. I mean, I see all the wags that I follow
saying their last goodbyes.
They're sending their mans off to training camp. It's training camp, right?
Yep, preseason training camp.
I'm excited this year. I'm going to embrace it. I definitely was resistant last year.
The first year I pretended I didn't watch sports.
Yeah, you catfished me. He was like, I don't even care about sports. So it's cool. I watch it. If I catch a game, I catch a game vibe.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I definitely didn't do my research because I could have just stalked your Instagram and scrolled down.
Easily could have seen I was an insane person.
And I have since done that. And I felt like a fucking idiot because there's a photo of you wearing 30 Knicks jerseys from 2017. Yes. And I was like, oh.
It ain't hard to tell.
Yeah.
It ain't hard to tell.
I could have maybe done a little bit of research. But it's cool because I'm going to embrace it this year because we're going to make it about the food.
We are.
And I think, and I also am ready to embrace like you like sports for you're very social.
Yeah.
And I love your sports friends.
Yeah.
I think they're the
Mayor,
Mayor, Jarrett, like
Omid.
yeah, everyone's fun and a good time. And I was like, this will be cool. We could just do more like we'll have a baby.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder for you to go wherever you go to watch the game.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do game days at our house. I'm going to get super into cooking for this just because I like game day food. I like slutty nachos. I like wings. I like pizza. I don't know. What else is game day food?
Chinese food. Burritos.
Fuck yeah. I didn't know
tacos.
burritos were game day food. That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. So it's like we're gonna be doing some game day recipes. First up is nachos.
Yeah.
We've already done Szechuan lemon pepper wings.
I
So
want to do a spinach and artichoke dip.
That's
I
what
want to
we're
like
gonna do.
perfect it. Like I
Yeah.
want it to taste like you got it from South Beverly Grill, Hillstone. Extra slutty. Not a calorie will be counted in the making of that shit.
because a really good one, a good spinach artichoke dip, is actually hard to do. I've made probably 10 of them, and every single time I try to like cut down on the calories a little. And there's no way around it. Like the shit just has to be flames.
So here's the thing. We talk a lot about how we want to like keep it healthy. And by the way, we talked about that journey and it has, for me, gone to shit. I'm eating
Very quickly, I'm going to
insane.
say this. All right. I'm
Yeah.
browning all of this meat. This is going to be the nacho meat sauce. All right. I'm choosing beef. A lot of people like chicken nachos. Chorizo nachos are great.
Yeah.
If you got some good chorizo. My style of nachos that I like is a meat sauce with a good like melty cheese broiled on top. Fresh tortillas that's fried and a bit oily and greasy. And just a salsa verde with guac mixed in, with avocado mixed in. So that is what we're doing today. I don't even usually like the sour cream on top, but you do, so I'm gonna put the sour cream on top.
Thank you.
But that is the type I like. Also, game day, folks. All right. Right now, it was a special moment. It's Hatch Green chili season. So get your Hatch Green chilies. Get them ready. You can refrigerate this shit. You can make Hatch Green salsa verde and freeze it. But I do think a tomatillo, Hatch Green chili, salsa verde is the perfect game day nacho salsa. That is what we were doing today. Right now, this is ground Australian Wagyu from Lazy Acres because I only feed Natasha, my son, and Julius the finest. All right?
Thank you.
We are like Kourtney Jenner. We're going to rock the fuck out with this. Kourtney Kardashian.
Kourtney
isn't that right,
Kardashian.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
rocking out. Our vibe is rocking
We're
out.
rocking out.
All right?
Yeah.
Cumin. Whole cumin seed. All right?
Oh,
Put the whole cumin seed up in there.
I like that.
Yup. Impregnate that beef with whole cumin seed. Dilate your beef.
Yeah. Get it ready.
Right? Boom. Also, what's going to go in after is sliced Hatch Green chilies and onions, sweaty. All right?
Ooh.
I already, because the flavor of burnt onions is already in here, because I burnt up some onions for the salsa verde in there. So this is beef being sauteed in a pan that already fried some onions. And after the Wagyu gives up all its liquid and fat, we're going to cook it down. I'm going to introduce onions and I'm going to introduce Hatch Green chili. So we're going to let this brown for a few minutes. It's going to take a few minutes. Julius, how excited are you for Game Day Nachos today?
Pretty excited.
Good, good. I'll take pretty excited. I like that. Julius
Okay.
is always undersell and over deliver me, which I like. You know, you're never
Well,
going to be
I
disappointed,
trust
Julius.
your opinion, Julius, because you, like, I'm whack because every week I'll be like, this is my new favorite dish. You have remained so steady.
He stays loyal.
Like, you don't just be gassing people up. Like,
Thank you, Julius.
you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think if I had needed an opinion on something, I would ask you because I trust you. I'm like, does this shit look good? Because I feel like you would be really honest and be like, no, if it doesn't look
Now,
good.
you
or if
did
it doesn't
help
taste
with
good.
something today, though, is you did boil down these tomatillos.
Oh, I
A
did,
lot
yeah.
of salsa verde recipes you read, they want the broiled, charred tomatillos. I don't like that. I like a stewed tomatillo. It's more pleasant to me. But to get the char flavor, I burn the hatch green chilies. So here's 3 hatch green chilies going in there. Here's 1 whole avocado. Okay, I like to mix the avocado with it. Burnt browned onions.
Brown.
Bang. Gonna do salt. And I like to blend cilantro into my salsa. Are you down for that, babe?
Yeah, I like cilantro.
Blended cilantro in. All right. We also have a special guest on later today for a film segment. We have Craig, our editor, but also the host of his own podcast, Craig and Friends. He is a real film buff. You're going to love hearing from this guy.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
He also he's big in the drag scene. He had
Yeah.
the pod with Katya.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a legend in multiple games. This guy is like Pee Wee Kirkland, man. Legend in
Truly
3 games.
Renaissance man.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, other than your own nachos
Mm-hmm.
that you're making right now,
Yeah, let's talk game day. Let's talk game day.
off the
foods.
top of your head, like I feel like you're a guy, you've probably had a lot of nachos at a lot of bars, watching a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any notables, any standouts where you're like, that was top 1, like some of the best nachos I've ever had in my life?
I do. Not like a culinary place, which is like probably the dead giveaway. They're gonna have bad nachos. But one of my favorite nachos I ate a lot was at this place, Professor Tom's on 2nd Avenue in the East Village.
Wow.
Right by the movie theater. It was literally equidistant between the former synagogue movie theater, you know, the 2nd Ave movie
Yeah.
theater that used to be a synagogue,
Yeah.
and Bauhaus. And
Okay.
this place, Professor Tom's, had the best grilled chicken nachos. They had like fat chips that they fried themselves. Good char grilled chicken.
It sounds good.
They had a nice like white boy Tex-Mex salsa.
Yeah.
They weren't cheap, and it was like tons of it. So I ate a lot at Professor Tom's.
Okay.
And then Dale Talday, one of my homies, he's a chefy chef, but he had a place called Pork Slope at one point. And this
Oh,
was
cute.
actually my favorite restaurant of Dale's. And he did a tray of nachos just like this. This was the presentation. He had it.
I love when it comes out like that.
Yeah. He had a cafeteria lunch tray nachos.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Also, shout out to the Philippines, Dale Talday. Great, all-time great Filipino-American chef. So I would say Pork Slope was the other one for me.
Okay.
And then just traveling like Mexico on the border.
Yeah.
There's been so many places where I've just been faded and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, where
For
they just
sure.
have, I'm there for the meat sauce
Yeah.
and chips, meat, cheese. To me, if you serve it to me without even salsa, I ain't even mad. But like,
I like
We're doing
a
salsa.
I like a fully loaded nacho for sure.
Yeah.
I like the salsa, I like the sour cream, I like the guac. The only thing I can't stand behind is when people put like sliced black olives on the nachos.
foul.
That's it, but that happens if you like at Chili's. They're gonna slice up some fucking black olives on your
Yeah,
nachos, and
yeah.
I just don't like that.
Yeah.
But I want it fully fucking loaded. I like when the chip loses its integrity because of how much shit is going on it, and
Yeah.
it's like fighting for its life, and you have to really it's quick.
And I'll tell you something about food, right? It's not always about the best version and whatever. We talk about this on the show a lot. Okay, see, not much liquid. I'm going in onions because I like onions, and I'm going a lot of hatch green chili here because it's nice and mild. But this is gonna be very satisfying for wifey and the baby. we're trying to get her pussy dilated.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
we're trying.
but I will say these are not the best nachos. These are probably the worst nachos. But because at AMC, like to sit with a hot cheese nacho at AMC, I'm like, bro, that's up there for me. That's a top 5 nacho experience.
Yeah.
Like with my mom loves that shit.
Yo, so we went to see Oppenheimer with Eddie's parents, and his mom ordered the nachos, and I was like, this
That's
is
my
the
bitch.
best decision. It was so fucking good. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could do this every single time I come to the movies. And I just like,
Have
my
to.
love and respect for her was at 150%. And after that moment, I was like, I don't think it could like, the ceilings were shattered.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my favorite. I love when people do something naughty. Because we'll be out to dinner and I'm always waiting for another person to do the naughty thing that I want to do. Like when people just order like the crazy thing on the menu.
Yeah. And it's just
I'm
like
like, I
usually
want
we
that.
look at it, we're like, let's be good, let's not do the my mom's like, bitch, I'm at the movies. Like,
was like,
I'm having the nachos.
We also got the Oreo.
Oh, I'm gonna say this. So look, I got the onions and I got the hash green chili in. I stir fried it a little bit, but I'm gonna cover because I want the steam to like kind of just get it even more unctuous up in there. Sorry, you were saying.
Steam it out. No, I was just gonna say we got the Oreo kettle corn that day too, and that shit was just like, if you're going to AMC, just like be the fat ass.
Be a slut.
Yeah.
Be a slut AMC. I
Yeah.
got the Oreo and caramel corn, whatever. Okay, oh, so we're blending this now. All right, here's our salsa. Love it. I got this blender on sale, 50% at the Bed Bath & Beyond liquidation. Shouts to Bed Bath & Beyond going bankrupt. I saved on a blender. Sorry to everybody that lost their jobs. I do feel for the people. They're very cool people there
Yeah.
that were like, damn, I lost my job. So I feel bad about that, but I do like that I got a blender on sale.
We did get a
that
blender
fucked
on
up?
sale.
I don't
No,
know.
I mean I feel for them too.
Yeah.
But we did get a blender on sale. I mean, Click will live on forever. Shout out Adam Sandler. That looks like the perfect shade of green. It actually
Look at
like
this.
do it like close up on
this.
his shirt with it matches your shirt perfectly. You said, "Oh, I'm gonna match the dish today."
I said I'm going to get this pussy dilated.
Yeah, you dilating this shit right now.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
So what are you looking for in that?
Julius, you can be glad you woke up today, doggy. Okay. Let me give Julius a taste. Let me give you a taste. Okay, Julius. Here, let me shoot you. All right, let's shoot the taste. Hey, Craig's here too. Craig.
Hello,
Craig,
everyone.
have a taste. Have a taste.
Thank you.
Let's have a taste.
It's amazing.
You could be honest, it is ass.
No. It's fucking amazing.
And babe, good question. You have a good question. I'm going to answer it. I want you to taste it, and then we're going to answer
Okay.
what we look for in this. All right? Here you go. Because it's nice to taste the salsa before. Just
you,
get a
babe.
little previews of the remix.
That's really nice.
Very nice. So, because I combine the salsa and the guac, because I like every bite getting the same bite. I hate like fighting over nachos. Like, yo, that guy got all the guac in his bite.
Yeah.
You know? So I want the earthiness
I
and
see.
the base tones, the stewiness of tomatillo salsa. That's why I boil my tomatillos. I want a little bit of char. I want like the mild spiciness from hatch green chili, where it's more of a flavor and a seasoning than it is like a hot one's heat sensation.
Right.
And then I want the creaminess of avocado.
Now I understand why you say you don't like the avocado
Yeah.
or like the guac on your nacho, because you're
Yeah.
doing this, which like you need to preface with, because when you just say like you want a meat and cheese nacho, I'm
Yeah.
like judging you.
Yeah.
But
I
then
never
you make this
explained
shit and I'm like,
myself
no, I
well.
get it, because you're doing creamy, like you basically made the salsa guac.
Yeah. That's what I do. I do salsa guac because I don't like having a bad bite.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, that's
Now this is saved for many, many game days. Oh, this was uncleaned.
this is exciting.
Yeah. We got so much game day salsa. This is
We
like
do.
That's at least going to last us till week 5.
When's the first game of the season?
So the first preseason game for the Commanders
No,
was...
but isn't that all messed up right now? You guys can't even like watch them in real time.
Well, yeah. So NFL Sunday Ticket transferred to YouTube. It's been a controversy. I literally am watching YouTube videos about what membership to buy and what games I get. So I can't get out of market preseason now. But basically, long story short, nobody gives a fuck. Monday, we play the Ravens. It's our second preseason game.
Yeah.
I'm hyped. They've been fighting. We had a joint practice. We had 3 days of joint practice. We've been beating the shit out of the Ravens. Fuck the Ravens.
Fuck
The Ravens to me are like the Brooklyn Nets of football. There was no, they were the fucking Browns.
Who is the Ravens? Like what is their state?
They used to have like the Baltimore Colts.
Okay.
Then the Baltimore Colts moved to Indianapolis. They lost their team.
Okay.
Then when Cleveland couldn't afford their team, the Cleveland owner moved the Cleveland Browns back to Baltimore and like split the DMV in half. So
okay.
we used to all be Washington Redskins Commanders fans, and now
But this has
it's a beltway battle. They're like the Nets.
Shit. This
They're
would be
like
like
the
if
Nets.
New England had another team.
Yeah.
And then people had to choose between like the Patriots and
And then the sad thing is that the Ravens were so fucking hard. They had this dude Ray Lewis who stabbed someone at a Super Bowl party.
Ray Lewis.
So I was like, I can't even front on this dude. Like that dude's too ill. Ed Reed was crazy.
Damn.
And yeah, the Commanders haven't done shit. So I'm like, makes sense that people are choosing another squad. But here we go. We're gonna broil these nachos to finish.
Wow.
Is there anything in the world going on you want to talk? Oh, I do want to say this, man. It is fucked up that Biden and I don't know if it's just a Biden thing, but the executive order, I think, is what's going on. Only giving households in Hawaii $700 each.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
I don't want this confused because there's a lot of shit going on with liberals on the internet that are like, don't disparage Biden. It's going to be an election year. Don't disparage the Democrats. You know, I'm like, yo, are we going to hold Democrats accountable? Because aren't we voting for them to take care of us? If this is a huge moment to take care of a group of people who were literally colonized by America in recent history. We butt-fucked this state and their people over and over. There's large swaths of their population that want to secede and do not want to be part of America. They're still here. They pay their fucking taxes. Maui is completely fucking burned down and on fire.
Yeah.
Tons of rich people bought up the land. I'm not even looking at individual people, like the people trying to hunt down like Oprah and check how much SZA donated. That's not the problem. SZA and Oprah are not the fucking problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the United States pillaging places, taking them for their own benefit, and leaving them behind when they need them the most. Exhibit A, Hawaii. Exhibit B, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Like, how many times does this shit need to happen? And how many times are some liberal fucknuts gonna tell me, hey man, keep it quiet, don't say anything because it's an election year? Yo, fuck you. Like, your job is to take care of people. That's why we voted for you, so do your job. It seems like we vote you in so that you can fucking Stockholm syndrome us and keep us from saying anything and being critical because you gotta win in 4 years again. Sorry.
Yeah, it just feels like on some level in the government, everyone's playing for the same team under wearing different jerseys, if you will.
Exactly.
And it's bullshit. And I think if you can donate directly to families, like if there's reputable GoFundMe links and Venmos and PayPal links, if there's any that I know of, we'll link them in the description. So if you want to donate directly, because people need help and it's fucked up and the government's not doing anything. I mean, we got more during COVID. Like they were sending out like multiple, I think it was $1,200, $1,500, depending on your household stimulus checks. And just to give people a one-time payment of $700, you can't, they just lost everything. They lost their home, their island, their community, any way to make money. Like these places thrive off of tourism and it's just not.
And yo, what happened with FTX? FTX went down. These banks don't have to complain for more than 2 days and they're all bailed out. It's not impossible to bail people out, help them out in times of need.
There's unlimited money to be printed to bail out a business or a bank or to send to a place that is war torn. You know what I'm getting at. But there's no funds to help the people of this country that like build this country and make it what it is, which is just fucked up.
Yeah, and I will say another thing in case there are really conservative people that watch our show. I'm not saying I hate America. I love America. I wrote a really big fucking I wrote a very long audiobook is what I'm trying to say on Amazon about my year in Taiwan and choosing to come back to America. I fuck with America. I love what we stand for, what we're trying to do. I love fucking Florida. I love fucking Texas. I love all this shit. So don't twist my words. But what I'm saying is we all have to help each other out when shit is not working. And it feels like the only people that get help in this country are rich people and banks. Because when we want to help somebody, we obviously have the means to do it.
Yeah.
The Ukraine, the banks, they get help. What's up with these people?
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me, the selective help that America hands out.
I agree.
That's what was going on this week.
That sums it up.
I didn't expect to get this upset as I was talking. I don't know.
No, we were fired up. We were talking about this last night in
I
bed.
got fired up, babe.
We were talking about this last night in bed, and I almost got dilated.
Yeah.
Like it was fiery. But
So what I'm doing technique-wise, this is gonna go in the broiler. I'm gonna melt the cheese on top of each chip, and then put the meat sauce on.
okay, so you broil the cheese down first.
Yup. This is like fucking science.
You know what I feel like is a universal experience that every like kid has done. You know, when you're a kid and you just like there's actually this is probably specific to like having an almond mom. There'd be not shit to eat in my house, so I would take the nachos and then just like put the shredded cheese in the microwave because I was like too
hard.
Like I didn't know how to use the oven or whatever. I was probably like 8 and there was like no snacks around. And then there was always salsa because salsa's like okay for people that don't eat food.
Yeah.
And they tasted like shit, but they were so good. Like nothing hit as hard as late night. And you would it would always be late night, and you stand in front of the microwave and make sure you get it before it starts beeping. You don't want to wake your fucking parents up. Like you're like.
Yeah, because I'm like, David, what are you doing? I mean, there's a kid.
They're like, it's 11 o'clock. I'm like, fuck.
I had a good friend in high school whose mom just did not care if we skipped school and went to his house. Shouts to Mike Macheski. Shouts to Mrs. Macheski.
Yeah, we had that too. Shout out to Joe Levesque. No one knew his mom's name because no one ever fucking met her.
We were just at the crib in the afternoon skipping school. And I remember me, him, and Justin Foreman would do gourmet. We would get super high and be like, gourmet.
That's so funny.
And try to make like ill creations. And I remember when we did like Triscuits, microwaved the Triscuits with cheese and then just poured junk Tex-Mex salsa and meat sauce, like canned chili meat on it. And for some reason, it was fire.
I mean,
Like,
it sounds
absolute
kind of
fucking
fire. It sounds like kind of what you're doing today, but you just use Triscuits.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you just knew how to cook from, like, being a child.
I was just
I
a
was
fat
struggling.
person. It's
Like, admittedly, one time when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I wanted to do a nice thing for my family. And I wanted to make them brownies.
Boom.
And I made them in the microwave.
Look at that. Dude, how good does this smell right now?
That was so fast. I mean, it smells amazing.
Oh.
Wow. That game day nacho.
Game day. We are not playing with fools.
Should we call this the Commanders Super Bowl win nacho?
Oh, yeah. This is the Commanders Super Bowl nachos.
I like it.
Thank you, babe.
Manifesting
Thank you.
this. If the Commanders win the Super Bowl, my life will improve
It will.
like 1,000%.
It will.
Not that it's not already amazing, but I feel like it will go from amazing. Like I'll be living
You
great.
be living La Vida Loca.
I really will.
That's what will be happening. Is you're gonna be living La Vida Loca.
I will. And if it's not maybe it'll be Commanders versus Jets.
Ooh.
And then it'll be like you
like that.
and Raph. Raph is his best friend who is the Jets fan.
Yeah.
And you guys can like duke it out.
If the Jets don't win this year, Raph may kill himself like Carl from fucking.
Knock on wood.
You know, knock on wood. Yeah, no. Raph will not. Raph will not. He has a kid. He has shit to live for.
Well, they could have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Raph is feeling froggy right now. Jets fans are feeling froggy.
I like that for them.
Yeah.
I like that they have a moment, this exciting moment.
Yeah.
Is this the first year in the NFL that Tom Brady is not active in like the last 20?
Yeah, since
What?
like everyone was born, this is the first year Tom Brady's not playing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yo.
Who's like the best quarterback right now? Aaron Rodgers?
Probably like, all right, you want to say Aaron Rodgers? No, Patrick
I don't
Mahomes.
know. I don't know
It's
shit.
for sure Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
For sure. Lamar Jackson got a very good claim to it. Josh
Okay.
Allen would be in the conversation. Oh, Joe Burrow. I think it's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe
Yeah,
Burrow
yeah.
and Patrick Mahomes, I think, is 1 and
Okay.
1A.
Okay.
For sure.
I like Joe Burrow. I don't really know shit about him. I just like his vibe.
Yeah, his Viperino is good. You
Yeah.
got the buffs on.
Yeah, he has like Cartier sunglasses. He's always doing like a look.
He went to Ohio State, which I hold against him, but then he left, so that was even cooler. No, I fuck with Joe Burrow heavy. I fuck with Joe Burrow.
What's more important to you? College football? Do you think I was going to ask something crazy?
Yeah.
Me or the
Well,
Commanders?
I thought you were going to say something about the Knicks versus the Commanders. Like, I can't answer that
No.
publicly.
I was going to say the NFL or college football.
For sure, the NFL. I'm a pro sports dude.
Okay.
Because
Because some people would say college, right?
Yeah, like Drew Mayor Hawthorne would be like, for sure, he's a Wolverines fan first.
Does he? So he doesn't really care about the NFL.
He does care. He cares about all sports, which is like just he's a wonderful man. He
All
cares about
all sports matter.
He cares about all sports matter to Drew. But like him and Chuck grew up like Ann Arbor, Detroit. So it's like a college
Yeah.
town.
Which
And
it's like massive.
yeah.
That's like the
For
whole.
me, I grew up in Florida, Orlando, which was a college town for UCF, but they weren't good while I was growing up.
Okay.
Everyone was either a Seminoles or a Gators fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the people around me.
I'm
at
sorry,
that time.
Gators have the hardest fucking logo. Like I'm about to start rocking Gator shit because I like it so much.
It's hard. I was out of Florida. I go with the Hurricanes.
Okay.
I fuck with Miami because I had all the Coke boys. But I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan for college.
Okay.
I love the Wolverines, but I'm more of a professional sports fan.
Yeah.
Because my first love was the Commanders and the Knicks.
Okay. Cool.
So
I fuck with
we need
Florida.
a photo of this.
Florida sportswear. Like the Dolphin shit is so
Oh, yeah.
hard. I like the Gators.
Everything Florida is just fly.
Wow.
Damn. How
This
you
is
feel,
crazy.
Julius?
This seems like a video.
This is looking crazy.
Wow. Also, shout out to Casa Vega. Which
What'd you say, babe?
Casa Vega.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last really slutty nacho I had. And it has really inspired me to like get back into nachos.
Wait, Casa Vega kind of inspired this dish when that dude.
Well,
You got to
'cause
tell the
okay,
Casa
so
Vega
we
story.
pulled up to Casa Vega for lunch one day because I was like, I really want Mexican food, but I want like slutty Mexican. I want like a wet burrito. And Eddie was parking the car because it was like a valet situation. And we were like, nah, fuck that. Like, you park the car, I'll go run in and get the table. So I run into Casa Vega and there's a guy sitting at the bar. And when you walk in, it's like hostess stand, bar right here. So you have full view. And there was a guy who had just been like day drinking. He was off the shits, like he was having a good time. And he took his glass. As I'm walking in, he takes his glass and he smashes it and he chucks it at the bartender and he's like, fuck you. Like, and they start getting into a heated fucking debate and they escort him out. And Eddie walks in and he misses the whole thing. They're like escorting this guy out. And I was like, damn. I was like, you just missed the hardest shit of all time. This guy was like, fuck you. You don't care about your fucking, your customers. Like, you're a bad bartender. And I was,
I heard him go, fuck you, Cholo.
he did say that. I didn't know if I was allowed to say that part. But yeah, I was like, he's making valid points. I didn't see the way the bartender treated him.
Oh,
but
yeah,
also,
we shouldn't have said that because now somebody's going to do a Joe Rogan supercut in 10 years and be like, look at how many times they said this word. But no, it wasn't us. It was the dude.
it was the guy.
at Casa Vega.
It was the fucking guy at
Straight
Casa
up,
Vega.
fuck you, Cholo, and threw a cup at the bartender.
But it was very like Housewives. Like if you've ever seen a Housewives episode where they take the glass and they'll like break the champagne glass on the table and then throw it. It was very threatening. And it was just something you love to see at Tuesday at 3 p.m.
For all
for
the
me.
homies that have not watched Housewives yet, I had not watched till the end of last year, and I have to tell you, this shit is fire.
Thank you.
This shit is Bravo is fire.
Thank
There's
you.
a reason people watch this shit. I never watched the Kardashians till this year, but watching them beef over absolutely nothing is
Also,
incredible.
Vanderpump, we have Craig here who's going to join us, and we're going to get into it. But Vanderpump Rules is also fucking fire. There's so many. Just watch the shit your girl watches. Because, okay, he'll watch my shit now, and he's like into it because it's high key entertaining. And he put on The Last Quarterback, the whatever
Knocks,
bullshit, Hard Knocks. And we lasted 5 seconds.
It was a snooze fest.
It was fucking boring.
Compared to Bravo,
what they need is, I would love to come in and produce an episode. They need to be liquored up and they need to start talking shit.
Yeah.
We need to see, I need them to be like at a bar. I need something.
Hard
it's
Knocks
just not.
Needs more WAG coverage, more sex, more
Yeah, bring
scandal.
the wags in. Like, I want to know what the girlies are doing. Like, who just got a new pair of thigh-high boots? Who has a crocodile Birkin? And whose man is cheap as fuck and has them, like, wearing Fashion Nova and it's just not good for
And the
them.
NFL has it. Dude, NFL players are fucking goons. They're goons. So
I want the
hiding all
NFL
the good
cheating
shit.
scandal.
The NFL is protecting them on Hard Knocks.
My show would exploit them in the best way.
Oh, can we review the nachos first before we do this?
I need to get. Did we use all the sour cream?
Okay. The sour cream's right there. It's in a bowl.
Okay. Like, I like a sour cream moment.
Yeah. I did not put sour cream on, even though I said I would. It was just muscle memory.
It's okay.
But this really, everything comes together. Like, my thing with food is this, and this is my struggle with nachos. I like when multiple things come together and make one flavor. A lot of Japanese food, a lot of French food is about tasting components, and chefs want you to taste each part of a dish. I'm very much, everything needs to come together into a consistent bite and make one new flavor. So that is why I love these nachos. Every bite, you're getting the same shit. It's pretty consistent. What do you think, babe?
I mean, the bite I just got, I like slutty fucking nachos. Like, I want to be wearing the nacho. I like it drippy. I like it gooey. I like a lot of shit. So this is like refined, really nice, like brilliant. Like like anyone, this is amazing. Like, no one's gonna say they don't like this. I like my nachos just a little bit sluttier. That's what I will say. I like it, like, I want it to go like this.
I hate that.
I love that. But no one's saying that this nacho is bad.
No.
Like, this is a great nacho.
No one's saying that. But I do like, because, most people on a food show aren't going to be like, it's not my favorite.
I would just slide it up more.
I like trash food, which is just, personal preference. But I think you really shut these down. Like, I do think when we have people over for the games, they're going to fucking love this.
I like the style of the pod today, too. Craig is rolling in.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Okay.
Welcome, Craig.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Natasha. Eddie, thank you very
Hello.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you for
There's a
having me.
plate.
Yeah, thank you.
Get some
Wonderful.
nachos. Nacho it up.
And this is one of my favorite dishes, and I haven't made it in a long time. I used to do the same thing with the microwave. Thank you.
Yeah, like as a kid, right?
Yeah, and it's like, this is how you do it. I'd go downstairs, watch some Dan Aykroyd movie, and then be like, this is the shit.
Dan Aykroyd, one of the great autistic actors.
Exactly, and that
Here,
comes up a
so
lot.
Thank you.
There you go.
My primary partner, Ada, is autistic,
Okay.
and I've learned a lot more. I had, some...
So is mine. No, I'm kidding. Totally. I shouldn't tell that joke.
No, it's...
My bad.
Listen, there's no formal diagnosis.
Someone
Craig,
said she was.
Craig, cut that out now.
I did have a therapist one time that told me, like, that I was, and then I started telling people that. This was like 10 years ago, though, like 2013, and it was not like women were not being diagnosed autistic. Like, TikTok wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember I told my friend, like, we were out in New York, and I'll never forget, and I told him, and I thought I was being, like, very vulnerable, and he was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, like, it's a spectrum, like, I'm not nonverbal, but I think I have traits, and, like, I'm on this. And they were like, no, like, my friend was just like, you're not, like, that's ridiculous. And now
Everyone on the internet
that
thinks
everyone
they're
on the
autistic.
internet is like getting diagnosed autistic, I sent him, and I was like, well, how do you feel now? And he was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Well, that's good at least, because also...
And I was like,
I'm going to support your palate, babe. I do think I could have done a little bit more salsa. So you know what? Cool. But now I want you to re-engage. Re-engage, because I do disagree. I think these could go up against anybody's nachos.
They could.
I don't usually feel this confident, but I'm like, this shit
I'm not
I
saying
smoked
they
it to the
couldn't.
filter.
I'm reiterating, I cannot reiterate enough that I have a trash palate. I'm not saying that I know what's good and what's
Listen,
not good.
There is no pressure to say these are the most fire nachos, but I'll tell you, I smoked this shit to the filter.
You did. I mean, look, I'm still
This is
eating them.
fire.
I've not like given up.
Yeah.
These are beautiful, and I didn't at all. I wasn't like, oh no, one scoop's enough. Like I could tell. It was after my
more.
microwave journey, and then once I cooked them in the oven, I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the same problem, which is actually something that I've kind of refined with being with Eddie, because I was like, I think just like, I don't know what it was about being a kid. Like, I think just because my mom was so healthy and like had all health foods around, I started being like a hedonist with food. Like I needed it to be the most fucked up nacho. I needed it
It's
to
a
be the
rebellion
most,
against
I
your
needed
mom.
it to be the most fucked up pasta. Like if I made
Yeah.
pasta, I'd put I'd like shave a whole block of parm on it and put like a whole,
Yeah.
literally like being like 18 in my own apartment. I was like, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Like it was,
makes
I
sense,
went
though.
too far.
But after eating with your mom like a few times, like if you eat with your mom for like 2 weeks consistently, I want to rebel too. I want to just be fat in front of your mom.
Anyone like The Rock who's
Totally.
like training for a movie, like anyone who's
Yeah.
like trying to cut for a movie or something should just live with my mom. Like that should be her job.
Will she put them off of food necessarily, or will it be that they will go for subsistence food?
She is so persistent and she will guilt you. And like, it was just, you will not want to eat food.
She has a way of like making you like feel like you don't need to eat 2 meals a day. Like she'll like sub something in. Like she'll be like, oh, well, we had a banana for breakfast and like a salad for lunch. Like we don't eat dinner. Dinner, like why? I'm not hungry.
It's incredible. Her mom is like the Mickey Ward of like dietitians. She just keeps coming forward. You can be like, no, I'm good. I'm just good. Today's my cheat day. She'll just keep
But
coming
it
forward.
fucking works, and that's
works.
the thing. Like it works. She comes and stays with us for like 2 weeks, and every time Eddie's like, "Yo, I'm so fit right now,"
And it's
I'm, like,
hilarious.
he's like, "I'm like shredded," and I'm like, "This is
She's hilarious.
Like some people, you like like their parents will just feed them and feed them.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
mom's
yeah.
like, "Let's not eat."
It's like interviewing someone who, no matter what, is going to be so good. She's a producer's dream because she will always bring it back to the through line of let's not eat.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? Just film with her every time she comes. Try to wear her down, and then be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, by the way, I've cooked a whole bunch
Well,
of
we
stuff."
have her.
She'll win.
Well, she has. I think she's a very picky eater, and my theory is that it's because she doesn't want to like venture into new items on a menu. She's like, cool. I got chicken and salad and fish. This is good. If she tries something crazy, she might fucking like it. But I'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
her. But when I get her drunk, we'll go get her a little buzz at a restaurant. She'll like then try sushi.
That's interesting.
So we're getting her to try new stuff, which is nice. It's a nice balance between us and her because we're like, I'm like very hedonist. I want to eat everything.
I want to try
You
all
just
the
have a
fucked up
great
stuff.
palate.
Yeah.
You like know how to order. And there's my mom who doesn't want to eat. So when we get together, it becomes like the perfect.
It's kind of nice.
It's kind of the perfect meal. Like we'll order the perfect dinner. We'll have, and it's just good for everybody.
Yeah, there's a fun dish. There's like a tasteful dish, and then there's no dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
really hilarious.
Then there's waters or like a Grey Goose crayon as someone's meal.
Watching her and my mom eat together is the best shit because Paula's just trying to avoid all food and my mom keeps putting it on her plate and I have to yell at my mom in Chinese like, you stop putting it on her plate. My mom's like, why? And I'm like, in Chinese, I'm like, she doesn't eat food. She's like, what do you mean she doesn't eat food? I'm like, dude, straight up, she doesn't eat food.
And then so that must clash with the polite, ingrained politeness, right?
No, I
So
feel like
it's
they
wait, I'm
fuck
trying to
with
do
each other.
something
They
nice
fuck
and
with each
yeah,
other.
They
yeah,
really fuck with
yeah.
each
Because
other.
my mom's like sick. It's a day off from like plating people's food.
Yeah.
And her mom's like sick. I'm not going to eat. I got an excuse to not eat crazy Chinese food.
It balances out really nicely.
So is your mom like really control oriented in general?
No.
It's just
Well,
in that realm?
It's just the food thing, yeah. Like other than that, she's kind of just down for
Very
whatever.
laissez-faire.
Yeah, very go with the flow, very easygoing. She's just like, I just want to like if we're like, oh, should we get like when we're trying to find a place to go to dinner in LA, we'll be like, there's this really great Japanese spot, there's a really great Korean spot, there's a good Thai spot, there's a good Mexican spot. We did get her to go to a food truck, and she loved the tacos. She like had
Yeah.
al pastor tacos, and she's like, she literally only eats chicken. And she was like, I really like this. So getting her to like get outside of her comfort zone other than a place that's like Earth Cafe
Sure.
vibes.
Yeah.
Where you could, or like you could just get like a grain bowl and like a Caesar salad.
Okay. I have to show Julie. This is why I don't like the slutty one. You see this? I put a lot of sour cream and a lot of salsa. Now I got a mushy pile of nachos.
Okay. Hear
But
me
now
out.
I got clean ones and go like this.
Exactly. Look at these guys that have no love. They're getting no love. So you take them and then you repurpose them.
My wife is right once again.
This is a financially literate nacho situation.
So you toast them.
Oh, I get it. This is like how much we sent to the Ukraine, and then this is what we sent to Hawaii, and we.
Yeah. If we could figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
That's what the government needs to do.
Because it's a sturdy nacho. So yeah.
This is a nacho that's ready to work. These guys, a little lazy.
So the
Getting weighed down.
They're still spending their COVID money.
Yeah. Do you think anyone still has their COVID money?
I think it's running out.
I think so too, and I think
Yeah.
right now they're finding the companies that have defrauded.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those have been good stories.
They have really been. 'Cause no one has any sympathy for
Yeah.
that shit, right?
No. And then just when you see the people's photos running these sham companies, I'm like, bro, Florida.
Yeah.
Florida. They're all Florida.
And as soon as you see them, you go, this is all over. You bring this guy into court, they're just going to go, he's guilty. Like, I did a bunch of depositions years and years ago. It was a class action suit of a fire department, an orphanage, a nunnery, and a school.
Were these
So-
all separate? Or
Yeah, they were all
okay.
separate, but they had
Okay.
all their
I was
408.
like-
What is it, like the 401k and the retirement funds? They gambled with those people's hard-earned savings, blew it all,
Yeah.
and then we're trying to defend their actions. And it was like,
Were you an attorney?
no, I've done video work for so long.
Oh,
okay.
you were filming depositions.
Yeah, and in Massachusetts, video work is kind of hard to come by, and then what is there is so closely held onto. But I did tons of commercial, not commercial, institutional stuff, and well, you know, what do you call it? Corporate.
That's
video.
pretty sick, though. Filming depositions is incredible.
I was going to say, you definitely got to see some shit.
Bro, I was at a family court volunteering one day, and in walked Zab Judah, famous boxer. He gave Mayweather one of the best fights Mayweather ever had, and he used this technique that came from New York jails called 52 blocks. So it's like big cult fighter, especially in New York. Zab Judah walks into family court, and it was for like an alimony, like child support hearing. And his defense was just like, I don't got it. I don't got the money. And he had fully iced out grill,
Oh
diamonds
my God.
on both. And the judge was like, why don't you take it out of your teeth? And I was like, this is crazy. I didn't even know a judge could say that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know he could just like point at your teeth and be like, you take that shit out. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
But also Zab, like your attorney should have been like, take your grill out today.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
don't show up for the child support hearing
Yeah.
with the fucking full ice out.
With the grill in.
No diamonds today, buddy.
Yeah. We're just going plain gold. Plain gold.
Yeah, gold's
You know,
all right.
people can,
They
like,
get it.
Yeah.
Like repo man can come for your car. Like imagine it wasn't like a removable grill. He just like had that shit really like
was in.
veneers, and they were like, open up.
Yeah, man, Emilio Estevez, Harry Dean Stanton show up at your door, popping out.
Yo, so speaking of Emilio
smile.
Estevez, oh, do you want
No,
this?
no.
Stop,
Please.
Stop. Here.
Thank you.
You want
Sorry to interrupt.
Dude, it's fine. What's it called? Like, so you got Craig and Friends, and Natasha was telling me you do a lot of film talk on there.
I do.
All right. How'd you get into this?
The show, I mean, I've always been into film, and film was always like the safe space for me at school age. Like, I don't remember a lot of young school days. There was bullying, etc., the usual stuff. And then, you know, gym teachers called me a fag in the assembly. Not great in the 80s. Not the good era for it.
Especially in Massachusetts.
The other aspect about talking to Massachusetts is there's so little opportunity there. And then I made a viral video for Scissor Sisters, just on my own mode, like for my dance night. I DJ'd out in Massachusetts. I would take sports bars, convert them into like queer parties because they have all the
amazing.
they have all the TVs, and then parlayed that into a thing. And I was like, I got to get to fucking LA. If this blew up while I was on LA and not on a deposition, which is what happened. Anyway, my friend Katya from Massachusetts, the best drag queen I've ever seen.
Who I'm a massive fan of.
Right.
I mean, Katya and Trixie are
They're the best.
and Bob, you know,
They're the best.
my
And-
faves.
And yeah,
She's
no,
been saying this. These are her favorites. I have to say, I love Bob.
Bob's
I fuck with
terrific.
Bob.
Bob really is
And
terrific.
kimchi. I like kimchi.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love kimchi.
We love kimchi.
Love kimchi.
We're a big drag household. We love RuPaul's.
It's the greatest show, you know. And my two favorite shows moving out here, and we've been talking a lot about Universe and all that stuff. Two favorite shows moving out here: Vanderpump Rules, Drag Race. 30 days after moving here, I co-founded the first Vanderpump Rules podcast, and then I ended up doing Katya's podcast. So it just
So you landed like a kind of Universe was like, you're in the right place.
yeah, exactly.
We're opening up to you, like affirmed.
Here you go. You put the thing out in the universe, but just throwing your sticks up and going to LA.
Yeah.
It was
So what year is this? Just because now,
Yeah.
in terms of podcast, was it early podcasting?
Kind of. It was
Okay.
early for drag podcasting.
Okay.
There was RuPaul's What's the Tea with Michelle Visage, but nothing from one of the drag queens,
Okay.
really.
And now that's like all your faves have a pod, which is amazing because I like endlessly listen. But
and we always want to know more about the person, right?
Totally.
And the show is fascinating, but you don't learn enough. And so when I have them on the show, I delight in getting them to talk about stuff because also I have a knack of, well, someone called me the Dick Cavett of West Hollywood. Again, for you younger folks, just look him up. My favorite talk show host ever, him and Howard Stern. And then someone said the queer Howard Stern, and I was like, I will take that.
I love
Right?
It's like the highest compliment ever.
It
Like
real-
the only way Howard
You
Stern
do
could get
have
better
a
is if he
similar-
was queer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You have a similar voice. It
Yeah.
is a
I hear
weird
it.
thing. I did not notice till you said it.
Yeah.
But you're in the same like tenor.
Yes,
Sure, yeah.
I hear it.
He had a beautiful voice for being such an ugly man. Beautiful voice.
He does have a beautiful voice.
He just has a nice, pillowy, cushiony voice that has a lot of depth and there is a density to it, but then it still feels light on the ear.
Yeah.
It's like if I were to compare it to bread, his voice, your voice, Parker House dinner roll, Howard Stern.
I love that. Yeah.
It does have some density there, but it's got a puffy, airy top to it.
Yeah.
I love that. I can't think of a better food-related compliment.
I was like, wow.
And
that
some
was
butter.
fucking sexy
Buttery,
and like
you know?
yeah.
Because you got a good voice.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I
The
really
And
appreciate
then the
that.
roll's warm and the butter's melting on it.
It's
That
inviting.
is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's inviting and
Yeah.
yeah. And I want the best too. Just
Yeah.
like the bread. Well, anyway, I did it with Katya. Katya
Okay.
was going through some changes at the time, and left and gave me the funniest line.
Can we get to film? So, like, what's up,
well, this
bro?
is
Come
okay.
on.
You're asking me how I got there.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
So
Yeah.
this is how.
Yeah.
Hey.
So it
Well,
started with the show
We
with
started
Katya.
doing a movie club because we did a Patreon.
There we go. There
So
we go.
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
Movie
like,
club.
we got to do a movie club. So one of the delights I found, again, I've always loved movies, but doing that cross section, and this is what the context is for. The cross section of the drag fans who are very curious people, and the drag community is not often, or the queer community is not often catered to enough, I think, in the larger spectrum.
True.
Queer people like movies that are not just necessarily Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like this is a queer movie with queer people.
Right. Now, I haven't seen Bros, but that whole thing of like, every gay should have come out to see it. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, well I heard that movie was just dicks.
Yeah. Anytime
dicks.
you're in the margin, it's funny when someone not from your community, it's like, I know what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, do you-
Like for us, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, Eddie, I know what you want. You want the Crab Rangoon film. And I'm like, maybe, but like,
Yeah, they're like-
maybe let me come to it myself. You know what I
like
mean?
make the thing.
Or
Yeah.
you're just forced to say that a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once is the best movie of all time because it was so celebrated and so Asian, but like it has nothing to do with the actual movie itself. It's just
Yeah.
what it represented.
Yeah. But because I want to work with Asian people in the town, I do truly, genuinely think it was the best movie I've ever seen. I was jumping the gun because, you know, Natasha was like, yo, Craig has a film podcast. And then I was like, wait, is he talking about the same podcast or a different podcast? But now I get what you're saying. I fully get you. I was giving you a hard time for fun. But like, now I understand why you took this big detour and how you came to Film Club is because you represent a marginalized community. And I guess what you're trying to do is talk about like music taste from that perspective.
Exactly. Because
Sorry to mansplain that.
No.
For myself.
Not at all. And it wasn't even mansplaining. It was like you saying like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't understand something. So that's
Yeah.
like a really big thing for someone to do, not just a guy, but anyone.
Yeah.
And
But it's
also,
a fun
I was
thing
just,
in a studio system, right? I will
I
say
don't know
this.
if it was a handshake.
No,
but
oh
I,
no. When
I like cutting the handshakes. So I want to do one.
Back to you. You got the microphone. I would love to hear Film Club and how.
And we will go back. And actually, what's funny is with ADHD, there are some benefits.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this or can tell I have it.
Like we're all afflicted on some level.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
My partner's autistic.
See, both of us.
I'm like,
I knew
listen,
that.
if my mom was here, she'd be flinging you an Adderall. She'd be like, "You want an Adderall?" I'd be like, ADHD, I've got it covered.
I love that. I also love when people have extras.
Oh, she has an extra for everyone. Everyone at our wedding was like peaking on Adderall.
Oh, I heard that. Now, I didn't get to finish the episode, but I was like, you know what? Because I just officiated a friend's episode at the end of a hypomanic episode.
Oh, wow.
Did I just say officiate that episode?
You officiated the wedding after an episode.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I wasn't done yet, but I told my friends I was because I was like, they're going to be really worried.
Well, yeah, you're like, I'm fine. I
Like,
have it under control.
I'll get through
I'm
this.
just
The showbiz.
really excited right now.
Yeah, but I'm like a little like, "Rrr." And I told my friend, it's like, by the way, and I told her the thing. She was like, oh, babe, I know. And I was like, but
I'm positive you gave one hell of a speech, though.
thank you very much. It was, I recorded it too.
Yeah.
Surprise, I'm
Okay.
always recording everything, but it was really nice. I had a beautiful time doing
Yeah.
it. But then afterwards,
beautiful thing.
it was such a beautiful thing.
Did you crash after?
I did.
Was it like that was like the peak and then?
It was. And I told my friend, I said, it's cool. I had Xanax. And she goes, you were on Xanax? And I was like, oh, wow. I must have been like radiating just like, and I didn't want to tell her how much Xanax I was on because I like to tell her that.
Well, you're like, this is your wedding. Like,
Yeah,
we're treating it with respect.
Yeah,
not like benzoed out.
Yeah, I don't want you to think, something crazy, but
Yeah.
also like it's hard to explain. Sometimes that fire needs a little more water than other times.
Yeah. And no
Yeah.
one knows your shit more than you. I mean, everyone at our wedding was like, we were all like, I wasn't because I was pregnant and sober, but I think everyone else was like
I might have
shaking.
ate like 2 Adderalls.
Like everyone else. Like this is people that aren't normally doing Adderall. Like our
Elena
the good
straight up
friend
had
who
never done
officiated
it, and
had
I was like,
never
"You're gonna
done it."
need this.
And like when I was getting my makeup done and whatever, just for the wedding
Yeah.
that morning, I just kept getting like every 90 minutes I'd get a text from Elena on behalf of, I was like, it's on behalf of the group, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, could I pop by the room and just like, your mom has more of that? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, come on by.
I was the group. I was all of it.
It's fucking crazy.
You're like, I contain multitudes, and those multitudes.
Yeah.
Stay
need-
positive. Stay positive. Stay positive.
So, I mean, to be fair, I had like put everyone through a lot of shit that day. So like the fact that you were just doing Adderall and not like hard drugs
Yeah.
is like a testament to who you are as a person.
I made it with Adderall. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
A touch of Adderall. You know, Julius held me down. We smoked a few
Yeah, you guys
L's.
had some joints and
great.
some Adderall, like balancing really nice.
Yeah.
It all seemed normal for what it was. It's
I have a
always-
question for you, Craig. I'm
Please.
going to point us in a direction here.
Okay,
Because otherwise, we're fucked.
I understand. When
We're
I
talking-
host,
we're
I
not
do.
talking about
point you
every
in a
wedding
fucking
we've
direction.
ever been to.
I want to get back
I'd
to
be
the
very-
whole
yeah,
evolution
yeah,
of the
yeah,
film
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and I will.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm very curious about is, so we see and we're hearing like what maybe doesn't work, like when people talk down to a community or an audience,
Yes.
right? What are the things, I guess, like what have you uncovered by doing the pod?
What I've uncovered
Oh.
by doing the pod, and something I've felt anyway, is that we're all more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
And we, just because we're gay or Asian or don't speak English or we're depressed, whatever it is, we're people, and most of the stories are universal, and they're more universal the more specific they are to your life. And we can glean all that stuff. I mean, there's certain people who won't understand that stuff, but that's how it is. It's a small percentage. And also people sharing their story and sharing moments that might be embarrassing, because before it was, because now it's a balance. One episode is a deep, not dark, but deep dive interview. Even though deep dive is like a cliche now with podcasts, but hey, I got to have one. I've had this, whenever I hear this, I never talked about this before, or I'm surprised, I can't believe I talked about that. I'm like, good. You know, like that's what I want.
Yeah.
And I also reveal as much of myself in my life. Like when I got an STI test that was hot, it was on the show with Trixie, the biggest drag queen in the world. So I left the whole thing in. Link devices.
Yeah.
I even told them, I was like, laugh on the microphone.
What, you found out your results
You got
on?
the phone call, like being like, you do have X or Z.
And
Damn,
they-
you got hot sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I bought them. Then they were goofing on me the whole rest of the show. They're like, Craig, you just turned gay. I'm like, look at this, you got a gift. And
You got the ill welcome. Like it was just like
Damn.
you got hit with the
Hard.
fucking
Yeah,
yes.
hard.
It was just like
You got
everything.
hazed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You got
yeah.
jumped in.
Yeah.
They're like, this fucking guy didn't realize
Yeah.
till what age? Okay, come on, bring in the.
Yeah.
So
Like, let's get it all out of the way.
exactly, yeah.
Here comes the hot sauce.
For sure.
And then I went in. It was great when I went to get the treatment. They were all
Yeah.
like, "Oh, hey!" Like they knew. They all
They
knew.
had listened in.
And then what I did is I followed up. I took my iPhone and I
Yeah.
recorded a follow up with the treatment guy,
Yeah.
and then made it a little mini episode. So
So real because it's like not everyone has that experience, but a lot of people do.
and we
You
should
know?
do what we can to destigmatize these
Yeah,
things.
like normalize it, make it okay, like get treated, get tested. Like know if you have some shit versus don't know.
Yeah, I got tested the other day, and I know for a fact that I've been off the market for a long time.
Yeah.
But also, sadly, that porn friend I was telling you about, it
Yeah.
didn't work out. But hey,
Okay.
it will in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
More to come. So literally, and so
Literally,
Yeah.
more to come.
I love it.
So the movie part started so long ago, and I would love to introduce who many people would consider the gnarliest drag queen, or
Yeah.
not like Sharon Needles level, but Katya is like a David Lynch, absurdist, all
Yeah.
this stuff. So when I could freak her out, I was in heaven. Body Double, Suspiria, 70s and 80s movies.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you the number of times in the UK people have come up to me and said, "Hey man, I want to thank you for like turning me on to Body Double. That led me down this whole road." Or like another De Palma film, or like
Body Heat.
yeah, exactly. And talking about movies too that people might think are square because
Yes.
they're like straight guy affiliated movies like
Yeah.
Casino. But I
Yeah.
had Willem come on and talk about Casino.
You know what I love so much too, and I think this is gonna like unlock a new level of understanding. Like, okay, so I just feel like the queer community loves horror movies because they're fucking camp.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like I love horror, and you just being like you've never really like delved in, but just movies that are like even this Megan, I haven't seen
I
it.
have to see it.
But
I have
everyone
to.
just being like the queer community being like it's so fucking good because it's camp and like you have to. I don't know what it is, but I just have that lens when I love horror, like Rob Zombie. I just love the
Oh
like
god, I love it. Yeah.
cheekiness of all of that shit, and it is my like the Terrifier, like all these movies that are just so gory and like over the top.
There's a few tropes that are either modified, but they're in there somewhere. And it's almost like remaking a recipe because you know what, say, nachos are, you know what Welsh rarebit is,
Yeah.
but you haven't had it like this. And that gets down to the thing of
Yeah.
that old adage that there's only 5 stories.
Yeah, I would agree with you that it is very like a slippery slope and not usually accurate to be like, this community likes this. Like, I don't think anyone's ever correct.
Yeah.
But I do think an observation, like camp and like the fandom of camp, I do think is quite propelled by the LGBTQ community. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you guys are the ones that are bringing a lot of attention to camp and that genre of like humor in horror.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not the biggest camp fan, but then when I watch it with her, I realize that I do have my version of it. I guess from like having taste that perhaps is founded or sprung from like the urban community, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's certain
Yeah.
things like I remember I went on Joe Rogan and I was telling him about Kill a Season. And he's like, "Why do you watch this movie?" And I'm like, "Bro, they got these girls shitting coke onto like a kitchen floor. Like that's one of the illest scenes I've ever seen in cinema." Like,
Yeah, I mean
didn't-
that is for sure like fucking a little campy.
yeah, I think it's campy. Like
Yeah.
Joel Santana got these shorties shitting coke on the floor, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I like that. And to a lot of other groups, they'd look at it and be horrified and be like, "Why do you like
How would
that?"
Yeah.
someone behave like that?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
probably know a story where that happened.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Lil
Hell yeah.
Wayne. You see my girl wearing them jeans to show her butt crack. My girl can't wear that. Why? That's where my
Yeah.
stash at. Okay, the stash is in her butt crack since 06.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Well,
you know people who've shit
Yeah.
balloons on the floor.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, fuck, they fucking did it in a movie.
but
This
I
is
would even
amazing.
argue like the cockfighter.
Oh, incredible.
That is fucking camp. The
I've never seen this.
You have to watch this movie. You will love it. He put me onto it. There's the lead role, the actor. He doesn't have a fucking line the entire movie. He says nothing, and like that is just the concept of that is camp. I'm making a
Yeah.
movie. The lead actor has there's
Yeah.
no lines.
That's wow.
He's just facial acting the entire time, and they're literally cockfighting.
Fire film.
They are just
Fire film.
fighting their chickens, and it is the most high stakes shit. probably they're like, there's like $5 bets. And I'm like, oh my God, if this chicken dies, like,
Yeah,
I'm
so
going to
if
lose my mind.
I was gonna try to define camp as I know it from like just watching film with you and shit like
No,
that.
I think
Not like
everyone's
the
definition would be different.
right? To me, I think camp is like indulging so far into your perspective or your
Yeah.
niche cultural perspective to the point that it is humorous.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that is ill.
I love
Like that is an ill exercise that like marginalized groups like we deserve that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? It's
Yeah.
also a heightening of the things. Now,
Yes.
to folks that maybe haven't experienced it, it might seem one way, but part of the reason I think queer communities or Asian communities or Black communities respond to the things that are there for them is because, well, representation matters. There's a great scene in Dolemite is My Name, which if you haven't seen it, kids, in addition to looking up Dick Cavett, watch Dolemite is My Name after this episode. Don't just run to that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Rudy Ray Moore created himself, right? And it's a beautiful story about that. Creating yourself, also the effect that that had on the Black community.
Yeah.
They go to a movie that's supposed to be the funniest movie, the front page with Walter Matthau. They can't relate to it. There's nothing about their life that they see in there. I think each of us in our own ways have felt that kind of thing. And I think the camp thing, it's like an arch way of dealing with stuff. Because I'm sure that scene with the shitting the coke, and I can't wait to see that, by the way.
I gotta watch it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not dealt like with that, this is a serious movie. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is an earnest moment.
Yeah.
Scarface, which, by the way, I was so sick. I just saw that again on the big
Scarface
screen.
is wild campy.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger than life. The best was hearing when Raphael was coming in. Because he's like talking about a family member. And he's like, I was like, baby, the world is yours. You know what I mean? And she said, and I was like, that is the sign of a powerful movie. Because that you can tell. From,
Yeah, when it taps into a culture that isn't so fucking obvious and not everyone is aware of yet. Like, you can tap that
Like
seamlessly.
like what we watched last night, Bronson, Nicholas Winding Refn really
Yeah.
dove into Charles Bronson and British prison culture in the campiest theatrical way. It's literally a one-man theater show.
Yeah.
oh,
you know,
wow.
like-
I didn't know that. I've never seen it.
Fire
Oh,
film.
you would love Bronson. It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made for $250,000.
Really?
Which
He
you
did it-
would never know. When you told me that, I was like,
Whoa.
this is insane.
That's wild.
Yeah. A really good film. He made it in '08 after he finished the Pusher trilogy. He did one studio film, kind of like didn't enjoy the studio experience. Comes back to, England, does Charles Bronson with Tom Hardy, $250,000, fire film. I'd only seen half.
Yeah.
I could never finish it because my taste was not that campy before.
Sure.
And then she put it on again last night, and I'm like, oh, my taste has changed. Like
Yeah.
I was so, because I do think that where you're at in your life fully affects how you can enjoy and appreciate certain types of film,
100%.
right?
sure.
It's
Yeah.
like if like you have stomach issues, you may not want to eat certain foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was a truth seeker. I'm still a truth seeker, but like I spent every minute of my day and every film I watched, I wanted to be like close to reality.
Yeah.
I didn't really have room or time for that much camp or sarcasm it just wasn't my thing.
Totally.
I didn't even watch Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was like
Yeah.
way too serious.
And now you sleep to
personally.
it.
And now,
Now I sleep to it. She's brought joy into my life.
and now I'm like, it's 8 p.m. Like, I don't hear the
Yeah.
Curb song
Bum,
coming
bum,
on.
bum.
Yeah,
But we
exactly.
do that shit for each other now, and it's
Yeah.
really cool to see how like I'll get us to watch something super serious and
Yeah.
like dramatic and criminal before going to bed, because that's kind of just like the
Yeah.
zone I like to fall asleep in.
Yeah.
And she is into irony and sarcasm and camp, and I'm like, this is a really good tone change for me. It's fun.
You know what I will say though too? It's like, as much as I love horror, and I always have, I like don't watch it anymore. And it's like
Really?
the way that you said that you were always trying to be so close to the truth and like you were just seeking that out. I think horror for me, like there is the campy elements, and I'll still watch like a Rob Zombie film, but just like something that is just so like I think I'm just so happy since I've met you. I don't want to like seek the darkness. Like it just doesn't, I'm not like interested in the way that I was before. Like he'll say it all the time because we'll be picking a movie. We literally probably watch a movie every night. So it'd be like, do you want to watch a horror movie? And I'm like, no, like I don't. Like I just don't want to like. I don't want to be like I'm just in that place in my life where that's not where I want to be right now. I'm like I want to be happy and fun and light, and like maybe a little bit criminal.
Yeah.
Like
No,
maybe
I'm
we'll rob the
happy.
bank or some shit. But
It's really dope how we've affected each other's taste in a positive way.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, also the great thing about everything shifts and changes, and like one of the glories of life is that you'll be obsessed with one type of movie or one filmmaker, and then one day it's not that you forget about them, but someone else grabs your attention, and that makes you feel a different way, and then you come back to another filmmaker or anything, cuisine, and it just enhances things because life is so full of everything, and we often think everything is shrunk down.
Yeah.
And then once we see different things, like listening to your early episodes and learning about people that I didn't know about, and we were talking before we taped about Asian cinema and how I've really been thinking a while, especially looking at the new Bev calendar, and listening to Tarantino in interviews. I'm like, I'm not at the best at world cinema for no reason other than that's just sort of how it happened. Yeah. And I was also digging as far as I could into the vaults. But it's time for me to get into like La Ventura or, around the world cinema, mainly because in the pandemic, we were talking about heist films. I watched every filthy, rotten Italian police caper film. Some of them are just the dregs, as I'm sure you know. But they're just great, and that's what I needed then. Do I need it right now? I don't know. I needed something that was far away. And also, weirdly, was about cops, when the cops doing the most fucked up things.
Yeah.
So it was doing something. And I also feel strongly that films are cathartic. So my thought about you in horror films is that, I don't know what it was, but there's a catharsis in horror films that we're allowed to enjoy because we're going through it. Yeah, we're scared, but it's not just that. It's something else. It's a challenge. I can't define it necessarily. Yeah. But I think that's what those of us who love horror films enjoy so much.
It's almost like a way to, you can indulge yourself in like your own dark shit. You're like, it's okay. Like I've just always I lived my life a lot in that pocket, and now that I'm just not in it, I'm like, I don't really need to indulge in it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been into immersive, slow moving film that
Me too.
transports me to another world, and like that's what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Horror is on a clock. Like what's gonna happen at which time.
There's a schedule.
Yeah. I'm so like not on a clock and not on time.
Yeah.
That I just enjoy new wave cinema. Like you said, Antonioni, El Aventura. Like everybody has been talking about it since like White Lotus kind of like took a few shots and things like that. Like, but what I find really interesting about Antonioni, so when you watch it, I'm curious what you think, how he fills a frame with not a tight shot. It's actually like could be a wide in any other filmmaker's film, but in that kind of like medium shot, action is coming in and out of the frame, and the frame overflows with action.
Yeah.
And that style and decision to make film that way was genius to me. So I was like, whoa, he's just placing the camera there. It's not any crazy style. It's well lit. It's just well framed, but the action is spilling over the frame. That is cool to me. That it's just like his eye is really, really cool. And wherever he pointed the camera, I was just interested.
And that's the thing when you notice that stuff, because I also feel that even when we're younger and we don't consciously recognize that stuff, it's like when the sound's too low at a theater, the audience guaranteed will not enjoy the movie as much as they could have. They don't know why, some of them. That stuff, we're absorbing it. And it's only later that we go, because his cinematographer, because, he like Michael Mann color-coded Manhunter, etc. That reminds me also, the last time I heard Antonioni mentioned was in a William Friedkin interview. I'm like the biggest Friedkin fan. And before we taped, we almost talked about To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah.
So have either of you seen that or enjoy it? It's one of my favorite things.
Exorcist, To Live and Die in L.A.
Like,
I just asked about that because it's like,
Yeah.
that one seems to be the forgotten one. A bunch of people I know just finally saw
No,
it.
I was saying this too. Let's talk about Friedkin because he passed away like about a week ago. And this was one of the wildest coverages of somebody's death I've ever seen. I saw quotes where it was like, Friedkin, 2 big films, but like kind of just an everyman, in cinema.
Not a master.
Not a
Not a
master.
master.
Was what they said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like, yo, stop the fucking presses. Number one, how dare you?
Yes.
Number two, yo, count it up, right? Exorcist, the man started a genre
Yeah.
of possession films. French Connection, quite possibly the greatest heist film of all time. You can make an argument for Bullet. You can make an argument for the French Connection. You can make an argument for Ben Affleck's The Town. Right?
Right.
You really can.
You
Yeah.
really fucking can. But like, yo, this dude dominated 2 genres in
Yeah.
his time. And then also To Live and Die in LA, cult classic.
Yeah.
People swear by this film. And the dude has other hits too. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm blanking. You may know.
Sorcerer, which wasn't a hit at the time, but is
Yeah.
now revered as like one of the greatest movies ever. People think it's his best movie. I think
okay.
To Live
I
and
haven't
Die
seen
is.
Yeah.
Sorcerer is
I
great.
haven't seen Sorcerer.
Oh my God, Sorcerer has so much to say about like crushing small South American towns because of
Wow.
capitalist interests from Western worlds, and also these people who are going through it in order to make something happen. I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah,
'cause it's
Yeah,
very much,
he's also got 12 Angry Men.
yeah, 12, and he has
Like,
another
yeah.
film that's coming out later this year. And also, about To Live and Die in LA, that movie invented tropes
Oh, I
that
have
were
a question
stolen
for
by
you.
Lethal Weapon. Go ahead.
Oh.
Friedkin
I'm
also
too old
did
for
the
this
film.
shit. The reverse car chase.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I will say this about Friedkin too. Him and Michael Mann are neck and neck.
Yes.
Neck and neck. And I have a
Yes.
question for you.
Yeah.
His most controversial film, Cruising. Do you like Cruising? How do you feel?
I love it.
Same.
Right? So happy
I
to
have
hear
less
that.
skin in the game, but I want to hear
Well,
what you think.
no, and I love everyone's opinion of it. 'Cause- And I love the thing that's really disappointing to me is that the history of the protests, I can understand on one degree. There was a lot of troublesome things going on, and then AIDS was starting. But the film, which was called Homophobic, sometimes simply because a straight man directed it, is a capsule piece now that has the only existing footage of that bar. Was it the Ramrod? It might have been, which was owned by Matty the Horse Ionello, which I'm sure you can guess what line of business that gentleman was in.
Yeah.
So it was all mob, right? Because they're actually the ones that helped the gay scene happen. Anyway, that
Wait,
movie.
the mob helped the gay scene happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to get
no,
into that.
No, seriously, what's wild, the New York gay bars were all owned by the mob.
Interesting.
And they were just like, this makes me money. This is how America should work.
Anytime there is a community that's underserved by the mainstream dominant culture, crime is going to get in and provide
Yeah.
that service.
Yeah. It's just how it is.
Wow.
And you think people would learn from that, but they don't. And then they're like, these criminals are terrible. No. So they serve as human needs.
No,
And
they provide a service where you're not being serviced by other people that have options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, who goes to a loan shark? People that the bank will not service.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cruising, it doesn't say that gay people are bad. It depicts, I think, accurately a stream or strand of gay people at that time and what they were doing.
Yeah.
And there just happens to be a murderer involved.
And I will say
Right.
this. I really enjoy hearing you talk about this because to me, the outrage against Cruising, when I go back now and study it, because I love that film. I've watched it probably 70 times. Study the outrage over it because I find it very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first times I watched the film, then went and read reviews, and it was like, this is offensive, this is bad. I was like, oh shit, do I have bad taste? And I just kept digging because I was interested. And to me, it feels like what's going on with liberals in the Democratic Party, where it's just like for optics, they don't want the community associated with these optics. But if you're in a community, perhaps this is actually what's happening, right? Like from the stories and photos I've seen from homies that were part of the scene that showed me, like, there's a lot of people that came through Vice that like were part of that scene.
Yeah.
You see the photos and stuff, and it looks like Cruising.
Yes.
It's Cruising is like Michael Mann or William Friedkin shot the scene in that era.
It's documentary footage, except for Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Those were all bar regulars. As Friedkin said, he goes, what do you think? We can get extras to do some of this stuff? And they're showing in the commentary, he goes, so this is beautiful. This is a real fisting scene. That's all fucking real. And
Wow.
that's what was going on. He said, we just had a camera running
Yeah.
and going through, and he shot more footage And then also for research, he went to the underwear parties. Like he
Yeah.
was.
I
in
think
it
The
to win it,
Sopranos,
you know?
to
was in it.
research, just watched cruising.
Yes.
Because the veto
Yeah.
scenes are
Yeah,
like
the
cruising.
veto scenes.
It's
Johnny
just
Cakes?
like fucking
Yeah.
cruising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Johnny
it's
Cake's another great voice.
the greatest, right?
And I will say, I went to a fashion show Willie Chavaria put on, wonderful, at one of those old meatpacking bars, full of leather daddies. And I was like, I'm in cruising.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so fire. Like, Willie Chavaria is the designer still capturing that era. Shouts to
I
Willie.
gotta
Yeah.
check
Yeah.
their stuff out then, because that's fascinating to me. And actually, I'm so thrilled. I love Friedkin so much. I got to see his last public appearance, which was a Q&A after cruising.
That's incredible.
Right?
Fuck.
And I got to talk to him, and I got it on tape. Someone else got it on tape.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you a question because the dog is wilding out and Julie's has been here for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So but this is, I will say, to try and put a button on this cruising thing. I hope people will reconsider cruising and take a look, because it is a masterful film. If you like Manhunter,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
you'll
my
love
God.
Cruising.
Manhunter is one of
Yeah.
the greatest movies ever made. And To Live and Die in LA and Manhunter, the first two films, back to back, William Peterson was in. So if you like CSI,
Yes.
check that out.
Very, very slept on actor. William Peterson, super slept on actor. Let me ask you, you can either say all time top 3 films or
Ooh.
just 3 films you would want people to watch.
Okay, first off, might be the obvious, To Live and Die in LA. Also, my other thing is, don't read anything about it. I've already said too
Yeah.
much. It's a
As
surprise.
you're talking, I'm going to bring it out because I own it.
Oh, fantastic.
The
Yes.
DVD collection.
I had a strong feeling you guys had seen
Yeah.
it, but I felt
Yeah.
rude not to ask, you know? So that, and I think Casino,
Okay,
And
I
that-
love that. I love Casino.
how great is it?
Yeah,
I mean, I can watch
Ginger like
Ginger.
forever.
Yes, exactly.
Not her actions.
No, but there's something about Ginger.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone's greatest role.
I think so. I mean, everyone.
Oh, Basic Instinct. I
everyone
don't know,
will say
man.
Basic Instinct. I will say Casino. Casino to me is just a perfect film.
It is a perfect
love it.
film.
Like Robert De Niro.
I mean, his suits, the costume design.
Yeah.
I sent you that link. I found the original. I found audio of the Lefty Rothstein show
Oh shit.
on closed circuit. I think it might have
Okay.
been on YouTube, but the real Ginger is on it.
No.
Yeah, and they do like a bit.
I need to listen to this because I'm like I'm the biggest Ginger stan. She's my favorite movie character of all time.
Willem said Ginger is the most relatable character to her that she's
Wow.
ever seen in a film.
Yeah.
I think that's very telling.
It was funny because
Yeah.
when we first met, you told me Ginger was your favorite character in a film.
Yeah.
And I was like, this bitch is a no-go.
Well, I do.
this
well,
bitch is an
because
absolute no-fly zone.
no, because it's not that I relate to this, but her struggle in that movie of like loving.
Beautiful.
She cannot escape the love. She's like Stockholm syndromed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
On DVD, Friedkin's finest hour.
It really is. It really is. And it's still ahead of its time. 40
Yeah.
years old, still ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I got to see it at the Geffen Theater. If you ever get to go to that, it's like the greatest
Yeah.
theater. And it was so loud. It's funny, modern audiences, they think
Did I
there's...
miss one? So To Live
No.
and Die in LA, Casino.
No.
Oh, no. I got distracted. Surprise, surprise.
But you see, I was cute about getting you to the third film this time.
That's
Did I
right.
miss one?
Oh, but
Yeah, that was good. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate
got
that.
you.
Good looking
I got
out.
you.
The third one, I might have to say Hedwig and the Angry Inch because it had such an impact on me when it came out in the
Say it
theaters.
again?
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either.
Amazing. So John Cameron Mitchell.
We gotta watch
Yeah.
this.
It's fantastic.
Okay, cool.
It's so good. I took my mom to see it. I saw it like 20 times. I saw it so many times in the theater, they saved the promo gear for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And what was a real treat
Really,
was
we
then
got it.
I DJ'd with him one time and then he came on my show.
Oh, cool.
I have a huge conversation coming out with the Video Archives producer, Gala Avery, on Crimes of Passion, a Ken Russell film. We're taping something tomorrow.
Amazing.
So I'm really happy that you thought it was all cinema because there's going to be a stronger focus on it. The movie clubs used to be Patreon only. Now I was like, these should be for everybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I like to make things approachable.
Well,
You
I
know?
also feel movie club, book club, art club, food club. It's, if you put it on Patreon, great. But really what you want is people to support this art that means something to you. Not to be corny,
No,
but like
for
I
sure.
would never gatekeep movies. There's a lot of directors and writers that gatekeep their
Oh, I-
influences.
I
hate
know.
that.
And it's so
Bro,
funny.
go
It's
see
just
it.
such a funny thing to gatekeep because I'm like, why wouldn't you want people to understand your art more and like where it came from and how you see things and what inspires you? I'm like, that's so ill.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
the
I
pod-
talk.
the
I
pod-
talk a lot. I'm sorry.
Pod is over.
Oh, ciao,
Pod
ciao.
is over.
Ciao
Pod's
is like,
over.
get the
Pod is
fuck
over.
out.
But Craig, thank you for coming. Thank
Hey,
you.
I know, thank
thank
you.
you
This was
so much.
amazing.
Thank
this
you.
was so
Craig's
much
been
fun.
editing the last
I
few
loved
episodes.
It.
Love this
Yeah.
too. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
I look more towards. I look more towards more.
Yeah.
We'll have
I
you back on to talk movies soon again.
For sure.
Fantastic.
We
Yeah.
never stop.
And we'll start with movies that time.
Yeah. Movies is our whole shit.
I just give people a hard time.
Oh, I know.
It's
Me
amazing.
too. Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
That was
this
fantastic.
is a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
going on, Chow?
Great fun. Thank you.